Hello and welcome to yet another edition of hrtech.sg's Tech Talks, where we talk to subject matter experts on all aspects in the realm of human resources and HR technology. Today, we are extremely happy to host Bridget Shao, Head of Human Resources Southeast Asia of Thoughtworks. As we all know, Thoughtworks is a leading global technology consulting firm that integrates strategy, design, software engineering to help enterprises globally thrive as modern digital businesses. In fact, they are in the forefront of leading digital transformations for various enterprises globally. Thank you very much for joining us today in our edition, Bridget.
Thanks for having me. It's really a nice pleasure here.
Thank you. Bridget, my first question to you, as there are a lot of talks of a recession looming globally. At this point of time, what are the key business challenges and talent challenges that you are facing?
I feel like it's always about people, isn't it? High-tech industry is a seller market. So from talent shortages to remote work to digital transformation, every day seems to bring a new challenge to the business leaders. So I would say generally talent attraction and retention in the remote work world, and the need to be increasingly agile. With the right team, both strategy and execution fall into the place. Remote work is here, and both established companies and startups now hire anywhere in the world. Yes, it seems your talent pool has expanded, but it leads to a new challenges, retention, right? So even more than attracting it, I feel like. So there are no longer physical barriers. It's a completely open market and a very global market. So we must look for new ways of generate commitment and efficiency. Lucky for me to grow in an organization with the best agile practices in both our services and internal operation. I have some observations that the whole industry is experiencing evolution in the technology environment and in the way in which tech teams form and work together. So the fast pace of innovation, lack of skill, resources, and the pressure to leverage distributed teams are among utmost pressing challenges. Now more than ever, agility is the key to tackling these, I feel like, not with a demand-driven methodology, but with a change in our mindset, repeatedly adapting to new conditions, the uncertainty, by keeping the focus on what really creates the value.
Fantastic. In fact, all our clients have also been talking about how the adoption of a digital mindset, an agile mindset, a growth mindset is the biggest challenge in a remote and a hybrid workplace. And I think you have nailed it by mentioning it as one of the key challenges that you're facing.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to find out, we've been talking a lot about the remote workplace, hybrid workplace. So are there any key trends that you are seeing right now that you think would be a real game changer for the HR teams to adopt technology a lot more?
Yeah, I feel like for HR teams, I like to use the term people scientists. As mentioned, right, we are facing the challenge of talent attraction and retention, and then we must look for new ways to create value continuously. So in order to do that, creating or maintaining an inspiring company culture is much needed. In Thoughtworks, where I worked for nearly a decade, we invest a lot in our employees' experiences. For instance, learning experiences, as you mentioned, right, we promote a growth mindset. So we try our best to provide the best, learning and training experiences. Hybrid working mode, operational excellence, and then the foundation, which cannot be missed, is the culture building. So the internal term we call Thoughtworkers journey, which means there is a one-stop service for our people to best support our employees' professional life here. This is where I see the tech adoption can really make a difference and impact. Like, the nowadays you see a lot of like the online training platforms, the online meeting facilitation tools, the tools for remote team bonding, and even a good HR system to support our operation teams to be more efficient and be able to quickly respond to our employees' needs and more. But one thing I would like to call out, while embracing the technology, we also need to accept its limits. There really no one perfect solution to all challenges.
I mean, I really like what you call the HR team as, right? People scientists, right? Definitely, culture building seems to be a key aspect, especially in a remote workplace, and that one-stop service to provide to all the employees in a virtual environment really needs a lot more tech adoption. And congrats to Thoughtworks on adopting such efforts to really make things easier for the employees and provide them a better employee experience.
Yeah, Thoughtworks is a people-centered company, I have to say. So we employed a holistic approach that takes into the consideration everything from people policies to learning initiatives, and then even to social awareness efforts. We value flat hierarchy. We influence and build impact with authority. So you might find it's very rare, especially in the traditional Asian culture, where many corporations still use a top-down approach. All of us, leadership teams, HR teams, and then the leaders on the ground even, we all work hard to build an environment of trust in which employees could challenge existing assumptions, try new ideas, and fail. Fail fast is one of the popular terms we always use internally because the agile methodology. Cultivate each other to first technical excellence and innovation. So we believe that the culture influences behavior more than forced policies. So while this might sound simple, right? In reality, it's not that easy. It takes a full commitment and support of the leadership team to make the pieces fit together. Like the data from our annual anonymous survey help us understand our workers' emotional well-being questions, so that our leadership team and people team, so-called HR team, strategize on the programs to invest in and how to design them for accessibility. Continuous learning and improvement is one of our key areas in our cultures that we value at Thoughtworks. We ask feedback from employees on a regular basis to see what else we can do and anything we are missing in the current initiatives. This is the DNA of Thoughtworks culture. And this method actually well represents the agile way of operating.
I mean, it's quite interesting to know the kind of culture that you have built in Thoughtworks, right? Especially in a time when every enterprise is finding it difficult to attract, retain, and manage top talent. I think you've just revealed your secret sauce of retaining good talent. Finally, I wanted to ask you, Bridget, how do we encourage HR teams to be more data-driven and tech-savvy, like what you're doing at Thoughtworks?
Yeah, I would simply share my thoughts in a Thoughtworks way. I think firstly, right, we need to ask our teammates, as an HR leader, we need to ask our teammates for their inputs, hear them out, understand their current stages, right? Like how they understand this data-driven mindset and tech-savvy mindset, and what are their struggles. And then, of course, that expectation for the work and the future. We need to know, where they are. And then we can see how does being more data-driven and tech-savvy really benefit to their work and growth. And of course, communicate with them, right? Like influence, etc. There is a possibility that we might need to recruit the tech-savvy volunteers from outside to better influence and change the old way of thinking from the team. Then it comes to a good support structure that we might need to provide training, for instance, uplifting the relevant capabilities, and of course, promote the self-driven spirit by learning proactively. This is a very Thoughtworks way. And then we also need to provide opportunities for the team to practice what they have learned and be able to demonstrate the skill in their day-to-day work. And very importantly, don't forget celebrating small wins and success along the way. Small steps matter as long as we keep moving forward. Last but not least, to better support business growth and scaling as leaders, we need to ask more questions to ourselves, how to be more data-driven and lead by example. So by following those steps, I feel like, yeah, we will influence and then, build a very good tech-savvy, data-driven HR teams.
Fantastic. Let me try summarizing some of these points, right? Asking more questions to ourselves on how we can become more data-driven and tech-savvy. Celebrating small successes so that it encourages people to keep moving ahead. Recruit tech talent from outside so that the flavor of data-driven approach and tech centricity comes into the organization. Continuous learning approach where we train our employees to become more data-driven. And finally, provide opportunities for teams to practice whatever they have learned. That is key, right? You can have a learning mindset, they can learn, but you don't provide them opportunities to implement what they have learned, it's not going to really yield results. Bridget, thank you very much for sharing these key insights on how HR teams can become more data-driven and tech-savvy and lead their enterprises like how you have been doing so in Thoughtworks. Thank you once again for joining us. We hope to host you soon in our future session.
Thanks for the opportunity. Very nice meeting you.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you.